that we'll try to keep this at an hour and,
Yeah.
okay. Okay, wonderful. Catherine, thank you so much for that beautiful notation and
You're
agenda.
welcome.
I was like, oh, wow. I was sitting on my couch thinking about it the night before. And then you sent it and I was like, this is just so nice.
I just copied and pasted what we put together from the
Yeah.
last meeting, so
That's great.
it's helpful. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Where do you want to start? Kim, have you met Will?
We once,
Yeah, I've
you
been there
actually
before.
came,
Yeah.
knocked on the door.
Yes, we're talking about the road, yeah.
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 Yeah,
Okay.
we've met.
Well, if people don't mind, I have some exciting news that happened today, actually.
Ooh, fresh off the press.
So for those of you who definitely voted yes back in November, the main bond for trails.
Yep.
Oh, yes.
Yep, they held one of their first workshops today, just to go over some items. So they're gonna have 4 grant cycles, one every year, where they'll award up to $7.5 million throughout the state. And towns can ask for up to $250,000
A year?
a year,
Wow.
for projects. And this does not have to be a single connected trail. If we have multiple trails throughout town, we could have it all as one big request. So we could have the Waldoboro Trail Project
Mm,
and ask for $250,000. So
When
that's
is the first date?
September 26th is what I have.
that's good. We were just talking about that McNemba board meeting Monday night. There's a lot of money coming from that
And
trails
it's
bond.
in buckets. So of the 7.5 million, 1.8 million would go towards motorized trails, 1.8 would go to non-motorized trails, and then 3.7-ish or the rest of it would go to multi-use trails.
Nice.
Good.
And anything trail related is what it is, other than maintenance. So if we're making new trails, that's fine. If we are buying equipment to do some new trails, that's fine. If we're buying,
All new. It's not for existing trails.
correct.
Ah.
I did ask them if upgrades would count, but they never got to my question.
Hmm.
But I am gonna follow up with them about that.
But new trails at
New
Quarry
tra-
Hill would
Mhm.
qualify.
Yeah, I also wonder if there's some kind of question of this is just an example, I don't know if we'll go that way, but Waldoboro Town Forest has always been known as a walking trail, but if
Mhm.
we're saying we're changing it officially to a multi-use trail.
Yes.
Right. Because then it's new, right? You're technically
Yeah.
new.
Yes, and we know that cross-country skiers and snowshoe, they use it, and so it'd be great to upgrade the bridges and things
Yeah.
for,
And that's the question I asked them, but never got the answer to, but
Yeah.
I'll have to follow up with him about that.
that's so nice, Max. I'm glad you attend. I saw that was happening today. I'm so happy.
It was such a nice, as much as it would have been great to have a meeting yesterday. It's it's nice that we were able to schedule to today so that I could go over
Yeah.
our timeline, because if we
Yeah.
want to do some big trail work for next year, you know what time I need to put in a grant request.
Yeah, so it sounds like we need to put a Waldoboro Trail project proposal together for you.
That would be good.
Nice.
And so
Oh.
would the reroute that, was bounced around a couple of times of the town forest.
Yeah, I
off
was
the
wondering if
private
it's a
property?
reroute, because you see it's part of the trails on the other, because it's a reroute.
I
yeah.
think
I
that
mean-
I think that would work.
Mhm. Mhm.
Well, thank you for the news. That is
Very good news.
great news. Great way to start off the.
And the Sylvania Trail isn't
Oh,
done.
yeah, that's a
Like,
new trail.
Yep, I think Carl Solberg would like to try and get that as a thing, but again, Sylvania
Hmm.
Trail could happen with Sylvania all as one big project
Package.
request. Yeah,
Mhm.
Eventually, there's gonna be trails too by the new health center, isn't there? Or is that their own?
But that's not town property.
Right, that's its own.
no, but I'm pushing that pretty
Mm.
hard.
Yeah,
I
I
really-
thought I remembered something about that.
I'm
so
dreaming of a community garden there as well.
that would
At
be-
the
Sylvania?
main,
Or
No,
main
at
health center?
the main health.
I mean, I wanted it at Quarry Hill, but then
Depot.
this is
Well-
closer to town, so
yeah, that's fair enough.
I'll dream it anywhere it can be.
Well, I should hear from the UMO students about the trail, hopefully. Actually, they should have had it by now. Maybe next month I'll probably know about the UMO trails.
Yeah, because graduation is May 10th.
Mhm.
Not that I'm counting down.
Not that you have.
You're going through UMaine.
University of Southern Maine, but their
Okay,
dates are all
same, same.
right in that, yeah.
Would we
Uh,
like to go over the outlining overarching goals section? That was the first thing I had on our agenda-ish.
Mhm. So events, I know I sort of replied to you with a couple of thoughts on that. Fundraising measures, that's a, I mean, that's a. Those, I think the events and fundraising measures are kind of tied, they can be tied together too. Role as stewards and objectives for 2025. Do you want to just dive right in to the events fundraising measures?
Yeah,
So I know I sent you that thought and totally like tell us what you're comfortable with. I was like a spring ephemerals at the Waldeboro Town Forest, because there's plenty of parking there, would be cool. It happened once years ago. And if we did like a suggested donation, like pay what you can suggested donation to go with you. And I thought if we had like, if you were comfortable leading it, we could certainly, however many of us are available, could be present. But I was like, if other members were there to like talk about the Beatles and the Hemlock, you know,
Yeah.
like there could be a couple of us and
Yeah.
and help build some interest
Well,
around the town forest.
There's a lot of lady slippers there.
nice.
There's so,
That
yeah,
was my second question, was what ephemerals are there?
yeah,
Right,
there's
there's
a
the
good list.
slippers.
Joan Ray took us on a beautiful ephemerals walk there. Do you
Yeah,
remember?
That was great.
And I posted some pictures on our Facebook. I think I put like an album, and I certainly didn't cover all of them, but it would help give you an idea of some stuff along the way.
Well, yes, I'm definitely down to do that. If it's around the time that lady slippers are blooming, then, around early June, right, would be a good time for that.
Yeah.
around-
Do you remember when we walked it with Joan? That all that stuff was.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
And then there's the Waldeboro Town cleanup that's happening, just like a citizens initiative that's May 3rd. Would probably be good if like we joined in on that.
Yeah, I've been reposting on the Conservation Commission page when Mark, is that his name? When whoever the citizen is posts an update, I've been reposting it. So it looks like it was May 18th when we did the ephemerals walk that I posted all the pictures. If that
Oh,
helps
nice.
with
Oh,
timing.
that's fun. Okay, I'll make a note to look at the album too on Facebook. Yeah,
Save the date next.
but yes, that sounds good. So more of a
By me.
mid to late May timeline.
The town forest. Yeah. Who knows with the weather we're having too, maybe things will be late. I don't know.
Do we want to put a tentative date on the calendar for that?
Probably should, right? Cause
Yeah.
when do we meet again?
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
What about? Oh, that's Memorial Day weekend.
The 20, oh wait, yeah.
What about the 31st or June 1st? Because I would think everything would still be in bloom then, right?
Oh, yeah,
Because then
I
you
would
then
think so.
Memorial Days happen and maybe more people are here too.
Okay, so then let's do May 31st.
I
And then we can
will
do the,
be out of town, but that's just an aside.
well, if you want to be there, we can push it back to,
No,
The
no,
7th.
that's my schedules. No, I'm gone from like May 15th to June 11th, so don't even worry.
Oh, for good things, I hope.
Yeah, I'm going to Fiji and Australia.
ooh,
Oh, well,
my
jeez.
goodness.
Way to make us
It
jealous.
takes it's 2 days to get there and 2 days to get back, so I I'm gonna be there for 3 weeks. So
Nice.
yeah, it's really takes a long time to travel across the other side of the world.
So what time are you thinking? Cause then you're gonna post whatever we decide on. I'm assuming you'll post on the page and.
Yeah.
Spread the word.
61. I know that you shared interest in the
Yeah.
Facebook end of things.
Yes.
So whatever you'd like to do, I can certainly make a graphic or you can, I just want to be supportive, however you want to do it.
Well, you let me know how busy you are, and if you're like, busy with school and stuff like that, I'm happy to do it.
Yeah, I'm on the downhill slide. I only have 2 assignments left, so.
Nice.
you
That's
know,
good.
Congratulations.
I still think back to the first meeting where like you met me and I just feel like I was the worst representation of myself.
No.
Wow, that's pretty impressive that if that was your worst representation.
Well, I was like, everybody leave me alone. I do not want to plan anything. Yeah, because we can create a Facebook thing. If we could create a Facebook event too, I'm sure What's New Waldeboro will share it. And if not, we can share it. And also the blueberry picking, like that's something we always keep track of. That happens like what, or early July, mid-July.
Yeah, it was like June or July, I thought.
Yeah,
And I need to talk to the fire chief about possibly control burn.
controlled burn,
Mm.
yeah. And not last year, but 2 years ago, we decided to use some of our funding and we bought blueberry boxes and we put blueberry. Actually, it was like a whole thing on our social media where we were like, submit your favorite blueberry recipes, and then we printed them off and we put them in the boxes and we had them available as first come, first serve here at the town office, and they all went. So it was just like a fun way to get the town involved, and we're like, post your pictures, and some people did of like the things they did and picked. And so I don't know if we want to try to like
Cool.
revive that. We talked about doing like an education event up there to talk about like how the life cycle of a blueberry is and agriculture, and we just never really got there because of capacity. So I don't know what with the energy you all have, if you feel inspired to take it a step further or in a different direction.
If we wanted to do that, there's definitely people I could like reach out to, who like lead those talks.
Would be good to have. It would be good to have the blueberry, just, I don't know if people still are aware that they can go up and just pick the blueberries when it's available.
No, there's not a lot of people that realize.
I mean, I'm fine with that. I'm up every year picking some blueberries.
Yeah.
there, but-
Right,
was
but I'm
nice-
just saying, like, there's a lot of people that'll come and be like, are we allowed to be up here? It's like, yeah,
Yeah.
public land.
Yeah, it needs more attention. We had a sign too, where we like had arrows pointing to where the blueberries were one year. Karen made that, so I don't know, we might have to make a new sign.
I think the problem too is the fields that are like right next to the kiosk haven't really been producing as well. So they'll like go there and not find any berries and then be like, oh, I guess we're going. And they don't realize that, hey, you gotta go up
Yeah.
the middle. So,
That's where the burn, that left in that middle is where the burns happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, we could just get back, make some signage again. And promote, that one is sort of like tentative. We have to wait for the blueberries to be ready and then start really promoting it.
But I think it would be sweet to do, you know, what you said you did a couple years ago with the blueberry boxes and have first come, first serve. I think that's a great idea.
I mean, even the talks, that makes sense. It's summer, try to get kids involved. That would be
Mhm. Well, you could do too, like,
and adults.
now that we have the trails there, we could say like,
Yeah.
come pick some blueberries. We'll show you some of the new trails that have been put in.
Mhm.
Like, it's a good opportunity to raise some awareness. The whole thing always, right now with Quarry Hill is parking. And I don't know what any plans for putting more parking in look like this year.
We're looking at you. Do you have any information on that?
I'm gonna look at
You
Will.
guys?
He's looking at you.
Wait to be okay. That's all.
So
I
where
think
are
it's
you guys
just a matter
thinking of,
planning. Put it-
like, where would it go?
Well, I feel there's like these two main spots we've been talking about, was one near the kiosk,
Yeah,
where there's
that's
already
gonna-
that area
yeah,
that's pushed
yeah.
back. And I was hoping to also get some closer to the quarry, like
Mhm.
there's that little burn area where that would have been nice to have as a area, but I think if we're talking about something that Public Works can do immediately, it is the kiosk area, right?
Yeah.
How many spaces do you think you'd be able to create up there?
John would say as many as you want.
Right, well, I
I feel
guess.
like, didn't we say like, it was gonna be like 6 or something?
Hmm.
Am I remembering that number incorrectly? I thought when we walked
Nice.
it
I
with
think,
Isabel.
have 4 to 6 spots at least, because it is very cramped up there.
Yeah, if you could get 6 spots there, and then there still is like in that fork in the road, you can park a car like that one sideways,
Yeah.
and there you can park down at the quarry, so you could.
And that's all, I'm trying to see, make sure that that is within the zone A.
The kiosk one is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The quarry
It's-
isn't.
Right, I know.
Yeah,
Mm.
we walked that with Isabel and Max showed her They talked about
Yeah.
that, the spots.
But
Cool.
that's Corey's later on. I'll talk to Julie on Tuesday and work on the parking then with Will.
Yeah, that would be wonderful, because then we could do a lot more there, a lot more promotion.
Who was in the town end when that easement was put in, you know?
Who was in town when the conservation easement was about? That was like 2007. Like, I think Daryl may be the only person who was here, but he's tax assessor.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, John technically is also.
Yeah.
But
Virginia
come on,
is-
John was probably here when the town was founded.
He was, yes, he's on the charter.
Um,
Somewhere I have a file that the old owner has of all of that stuff.
Would
Like
be
a legitimate, like
the easement or
all the stuff to do with Quarry Hill. So I should bring it in, and
yeah, but
there's probably some really good notes and
Yeah,
things
right,
that
cool
might
info.
be.
we
yeah.
can compare it with the files we have here too.
Yeah.
See what's missing.
Yeah.
So zone A is only like half, like you couldn't go below the kiosk.
But how does that impact where people already kind of park along the sides anyway? You know what I mean?
Yeah, just like, that's like fine, cause it's already there. So it's like talking about like,
New park.
new
Development, yeah.
things.
Okay.
I think though, let me see if I'm remembering correctly, but Isabel, wasn't she saying it was like about this amount of space that was under easement, so if the, no, I remember what she
Okay.
was saying, but what is that group that was like, has land there that we tried to get them to,
The water district.
yeah, like if the water district donated that
the
land,
Utility district.
utility district, then like those parking spot, like it was like an ebb
Well,
and flow of
Even
easement space.
I mean, even without the utility district, we still have like 4 acres that abut the land that the town owns
Mm-hmm.
and that's what I've been talking to Isabel about. Maybe not the one next to the quarry, but at least the one right next
Right.
to the blueberry fields. That should be able to be done with the 4 acres that we do have. That should be able to
Yeah.
address it.
Yeah,
But I guess I need to follow up with Isabel. I don't know whatever happened with that whole thing. But I'll follow up with her.
Yeah,
other
these
thoughts.
easements are. Easements are wild because it literally, we don't do it this way anymore, but these older easements. Whatever the person wanted gets written into law. And it's like,
I mean,
on a whim, and you're like, why did that get written into law?
I mean,
We don't do that now because it causes so many problems, but these older ones, they are what they are, and
I'll keep that in mind the next time I'm talking to Isabel about potential amendments.
Yeah.
it's freaking wild.
Right.
Sorry, I'm going back to your email of our list. Any other ideas for events or?
Yeah, I guess I do have a question that might like help us outline, which is how many events do we want to do over
Mhm.
the summer? And then we can kind of identify what we can do from there. I'm open to doing a blueberry talk. That might be fun. We can set a tentative date. I don't know, Kimberly, if you'd be interested in speaking to any of the agricultural parts of
I can.
blueberry. And then I can speak more to like the less agriculture part of
Yeah.
maintaining blueberries, maybe like from a fire ecology perspective and talking,
Yeah.
we can talk about the new trails that are going in and are we allowed to talk about that?
Yeah.
Okay. And yeah, like that would be a fun thing to do. And
Yeah.
then we'd have
Yeah.
2 on the roster.
Mhm.
How many
Have
do you
we-
think is doable for?
I think to want to mention that McNemba and Midcoast Trail Stewards, part of the agreement of the trails is that it's our responsibility to maintain them. And so there will be some kind of cleanup or work day this year. And so like a cross collab would
Yeah.
be great with those organizations. But then it'd be great. I know there's so many people that are interested in asking. So like the trail builders will be there and can answer all the questions. So I don't know that they have their date yet. We just met on Monday to start mapping our dates out for work days and trail days, but I'll ping Midcoast, and we call them MTS just for an acronym. And see if they have an idea of when that's gonna happen. Because that would just be a nice kind of light lift and
I was gonna ask, have we done anything like with the river? Like, is there something that we could do again, that would be another event, but maybe not for this year, next year. Some sort of educational thing around the river, maybe.
That's all Morgan.
Yeah, I was about to say, that's.
Yeah, I do really
Watershed things.
fun, I haven't done, well, I did a public one in 2023 and I haven't done a public one since, so that'd be fun. My macroinvertebrates, you just get in the river and, the Village Park, Preserve, which is MC Land, but it's behind, Bear Hill.
Hmm.
The, yeah. The areas that are like town property that access the river aren't that great because they're like deeper water. You want
Mm.
like shallow riffles. But yeah, it's super fun. You get nets and you dig in the river, and I really like it because a lot of people just like look at the river like, it's the river and there's rocks. Like there's
Mhm.
nothing there. And then you start digging in and you're like, oh my God, there's like a whole entire ecosystem like in the substrate.
Yeah.
And I did it with Madomic Valley High School students last year. I did like one-off like private events with different groups. And we did that at Village Park and we caught like crayfish and elvers and like all the little macros and frogs. And so those are really fun to do.
And what time of year?
You can kind of do it any time
Yeah.
from May through September. I'm like pretty busy until July.
But we'd want to do it at one of the town properties for the Conservation Commission. So is it
Yeah.
ideal?
That's what I'm saying, like you can't really do it there. Cause they're just deeper water, so you can't really get in the water there.
Alewife season is what, May?
May.
No, because I was thinking it would have been good to try and do it like May or June, because that's when we'd have the fish counter out as well.
Yeah.
And meld it all as one.
What about doing evening pocket park walk where people can park
Yeah.
at like the VFW hall or whatever it's called now, and because then you're walking by the river, and so we could talk about it in that sense, not as fun as digging in, which is really cool. But and then we could show off the nice little walk. I don't know if there's are they gonna do the art walks again this year? Because if there was a way to like,
Yeah,
oh, you're doing the art walk, like
I don't know. I
I'm
think
fine.
Billy said I think that's the plan. is to
Yeah, they're
do-
doing. Cause I'm on that commission too. I don't know how I got on all this.
You know, we're recording, right?
I know, this should ever be recorded. Where is that one? Okay, so the art walks are May 23rd, June 27th, July 25th, and August 22nd. I don't think we've set a time. That was like up in the air.
Is that the last Saturday or Friday of the month?
Friday, Thursday, maybe.
Did you say there's one in June?
That's Thursday.
May 23rd, May 27th, July 25th. Let's see, May 20 Fridays. Yeah, the last Friday.
Okay.
Because we have like a May event, we have a July with the blueberries. So it's like maybe try to fit something into June. And I don't know how it works. I don't know how our town would be historically when I do McNemba events in August are not always the best turnout because people are either going back to school, leaving for school, getting their kids ready for school. And so like when I used to lead group rides and stuff, that was the lowest turnout.
Yeah.
So if
Usually
we-
like early August, you're okay, but yeah, mid to late August, then everyone's shifting gears.
Yeah. Can be quiet.
Well, for an art walk, could we do like a little table at
Yeah,
the
that's true.
pocket park?
Mm-hmm.
And raise awareness about pocket parks and be like, yes, this is our pocket park. You can be here anytime you want.
Yeah.
But also just, come up with like your brochure,
Yeah.
and some more information and talk about our conservation initiatives.
Yeah.
I don't know if it would be kosher to have a donation box there to raise, to
Yeah.
fundraise
Totally
during
is
art
kosher.
walks.
It would
that could be
be,
another-
so like most of the art walk is concentrated like in downtown and there are some, so like last year was the first year of the art walk. And last year, everyone, like people far away from town and in town were doing the art walks. And some people did go to the like satellite locations, but
Mm.
they weren't very well attended.
Mm.
And that's like another thing. I actually should probably respond to this email because she hasn't
We could probably
might-
set up like a
Well,
table
but-
maybe out front of the
but-
apartments.
yeah, so people have been
Sprout
putting
block.
like tables under sprout block and like having stuff
Yeah.
like that.
It would be kind of cool if we like riffed off of the art walk where it's like, you like plain air painting or drawing, like here's some pocket parks in Waldeboro with some beautiful views, or like we can have some kind of handout or giveaway or something that helps them.
I was gonna say, even
Yeah.
something like just uh areas that are within walking distance of the downtown,
Mhm.
like the quick little walk to the 80 grade fields, the Alewife Lookout, which I know I need to get the name done. And even the Midcoast Conservancy land behind Bear Hill, I think maybe that would probably be a good start.
Yeah, and like I'm open during those. I keep our office open and I usually get artwork from the high school students. So you guys also can just like be in the Waldeboro office. I mean, the sprawl block's also nice. This thing like it's raining. Sprawl block's nice though, because there is a cover. So you also could do
Mhm.
it outside of but yeah, if you wanted to like be in the Midcoast Waldeboro office, like that's also an option. And then just like, yeah, all the, because it's tricky, like from our perspective, right? They're separate orgs,
Mhm.
you're like separate people, but to the people, like they're not like, oh, well, that's like a mid-coast trail and that's a town, right? To them, they're just like, oh, that's a trail where in town
Yeah.
where I can go access the water or
Yeah.
like go see something. So
That's
I-
what, yeah,
I-
that's what I'm saying. Any place that's within walking distance,
Yeah.
that's what matters.
I totally agree with you, and I obviously always see the value of cross promoting the trails and saying who, like, I think that like the where dogs can go in Waldeboro, so it's like we could cross
Mhm.
oh,
promote
yeah.
places, but I also see value in making sure they understand who maintains what.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Just because like, when tax season comes or if something gets on a ballot, like that they know what the
What's
difference between Parks and Rec and Conservation Commission and Midcoast Conservancy and
Right.
Sylvania,
Yeah.
And so I think any chance we have to like educate and share that we are partners in the work,
Right.
those are important opportunities.
There's already, yeah, there's so much overlap because like Midcoast has been helping with Sylvania and Quarry Hill and like, yeah. And the town, like, yeah, we've been doing stuff with town forests too. So it's like, yeah, it's kind of like hard to parse them all out sometimes. But yeah, and there's a mapping initiative going on. Do you guys know about this mapping initiative?
Yeah, is
Waldeboro?
that the one who she's trying to promote businesses in town, or am I thinking of a different one?
No, so it's like this mapping initiative because so there's the art walk, there's oh my gosh, now I can't even think about there's the art walk, there's trails, there's businesses, there's like all these things and like trying to create a map that shows like all the places you can walk, all the places you can
Is
go
that the
shop.
same as the one you were about to mention?
Prop,
Cause I know there's that person, just from watching you guys all talk.
that's
Yeah.
what I thought, but maybe that's because
Oh,
I
the
think
farm stand one. So it's so the Waldorf Business Association, the businesses, the farm stands, a backroads tour, the art walk, experience Waldeboro map, the Waldeboro Public Library. That's just like the outlines of this map.
I'm not sure that maybe it's the same, maybe there's some.
Like
Uh,
Michael Amico, Rebecca Cooney, Melissa Honeybell, Chris Bream.
Hmm.
Oh, you're on this email list.
Yeah, but yeah, maybe I'm thinking of two, but I think I'm thinking of two different maps now.
Yeah.
Everyone's making maps now,
Yeah.
but anyways, just
To circle back to events.
yeah, sorry.
Do we feel good with 3? I think
I
that's
think
a real,
healthy number.
I think that's a nice number. And we also think about like, we're gonna work with Max on this Waldeboro Trail project and
Yeah.
coming up with something. And also if other funding opportunities come up and we can like focus our energy on a grant, I think the opportunity to bring in some of our own money for conservation work would be a
Pretty good.
great goal. Yeah.
So do we like the art walk idea?
Yeah.
Okay. And where should we do it? Sprout block or?
You'd have
In
to
the
reach
Waldeboro
out
office.
to the,
So Willie,
I don't know if Willie is taking a break. He's traveling this summer, so he's not doing much of it. Jen from Gravedigger's daughter is the person who's kind of leading it right now. I'm actually gonna send her an email on this.
I think maybe just get a feel for where they might think would be best and.
Yeah.
I'll send an email right now to Jen. Who's leading it all, because we were like all trying to organize everything and then it's kind of fallen off the radar. Like that last email was a month ago. And she said she was gonna get back to us, and then hasn't yet. So I'm just
I've
gonna
been there.
say, like, hey, what's up with this? Do we have a time? Um,
I'm infamous for reading it and not replying.
what?
I'm infamous for reading emails and not replying.
Oh, me too.
Yeah.
Or like replying, thinking you replied, but you didn't actually.
Yeah.
In
Oh,
my
I
head.
like,
Yeah,
it's back from that person.
it's like-
Oh, we never hear
Yeah,
from
kind of like the email
We're
Morgan
back
was
to
saying that I'm
that.
part of. I saw that I have
Oops.
responded apparently.
I know somewhere in here, one of you guys mentioned maybe setting up the Facebook, like a Facebook Messenger, so that we can all.
Mhm.
Are we allowed to do that?
Yeah, that's something that we could probably talk about a bit more after the meeting, if it's all
Okay.
right.
And
What
just
is
one more thing about the art walk. So for material, should we come up, so to have the pamphlet too, and then our little fundraising box, or we could have a VR code to, or sorry, QR code
code.
to
A
our
VR experience
Venmo.
would be
I have
great,
Venmo.
too.
Well, we also have a Clink account, and so it'd be cool to have
Right.
our Clink, like our Clink tags.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, somehow to get like virtually.
Okay.
So yeah, we could print out that stuff, the Clink, and
Mhm.
I guess we don't, no Venmo.
Oh, no, I mean,
do we have a
can
Venmo
talk to
too?
Peg about accounting and see what the
Yeah.
best option of that is. And as far as like graphics or creating layouts or something, it takes me no time at all, so I could generate us some stuff.
Yeah. And I'm
That is
still
pictures than words.
planning on making little maps. I just don't have a printer, which I guess I don't need a printer to make the maps. I'm such a physical paper person. I just like
Like
Yeah.
what, an 8.5 by 11 or 11 by 17?
uh,
Or you gonna go big?
well, I was thinking, so yeah, I guess it's like the four, so for the maps and stuff, I can either just make the maps and then send them to you as like images or whatever, and then you can format them. Maybe
Mhm.
that's probably the best
Mhm.
since you've already started formatting. But I felt like 11 by 17 is like a really good brochure size to print on. And the ones that we have for like the Madomic watershed, like there's a big map on the back, and then the other side has like all the little details on it.
Mhm, mhm. You're envisioning them being individual brochures for each property?
We could do that, or just have just one brochure with all the properties, like what you did.
Mhm.
But then I'm like,
There's
pretty
no
much,
space for maps on
right,
that.
well, that's what I'm saying. So like exactly what you did, but then making it 11 by 17. And then so one side is what you did, and then the other side
Mhm.
is like the map with all the like different things.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Our 11 by 17 is a standard brochure. They're normally
Mhm.
like an 8.5 by 11, aren't they? Brochure
Mhm.
flyers.
I mean,
It-
you're
The
folding them.
templates
too.
online.
It depends. I wish I had like one of them. I mean, both. You can do both ways. The 11 by 17 folds into the same size.
Okay.
It's just one extra fold. So yeah, instead of just like an 8 by 10 that you fold 3
Like
times,
the little car maps.
the
you know,
11 by
fold it out.
17 is
Yeah, yeah,
folded
yeah.
and then folded 3 times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like in the brochure, I don't know if you saw like the red comment, because I was like, if we like QR code or something, a link to like all trails or trail forks or something, and get all of our trails, some of them are on there, like I think Waldeboro Town Forest, and then people could go on there because people update and comment things too.
Mm. It'd be nice to have a link on the website too of like you can like so you can make individual maps per property.
Yeah.
And maybe those could just live online.
Mhm.
And then the brochure could just have all of them with number points
Yeah.
and either little QR codes to their individual pages online.
Yeah, there's
like image?
so many possibilities. I think when I say like a landing page, link tree, is everybody familiar with like a link tree style? Because then when they click the link tree, they see Waldeboro Town Forest, Quarry Hill, Dutch Neck,
Yep,
and if they
yep.
click that, they could go into whatever it is we want them
But that
to
still
see.
needs to live somewhere on, right? You can't like link it to a PDF. Right? That would still like it needs to be linked to somewhere, right?
Yes, and like Canva, you can say this is a website now, so you can make it look whatever you want it to in Canva, and that can be your website.
Oh.
And
You can like lock it so they can't edit it, but they can just view it.
right, like a web page, and then you can track analytics of who's looking at things.
Whoa. That's cool of Canva. I didn't know that.
I'm a nerd. With
That's
data.
awesome.
Love data. Yeah. Yes, so there's a lot of like possibilities of intersections there for sure.
And well, I say I don't want to get too derailed, but the George Gould Trail, is that like, like, what do we want to reach out to landowners to make sure they're still okay with that being a trail? Just let it be as it is? Do we want to do a big trail maintenance day there?
I would hope they would still be fine with the trail happening since it was an Eagle Scout project
Right.
now.
Yeah.
Right. We need some TLC.
Yeah, all of them do.
I don't know, I don't like that channel as much. Yeah, I know, we're in
It
the
took me a
streaming world, so
second.
that
Took
can't
me a
be.
second.
Oh. I went with like the charge of the Conservation Commission, like those are our properties, and
Mm.
so I stuck with those, and I agree, like the Gould Trail, Waldeboro Town Forest, like that needs so much work to be
Mhm.
like, if it was to increase in traffic than what it is
Mhm.
now, you know? That they all need work, let's be honest, and if we're gonna start getting things off the ground, we've gotta do something.
Three minor things. I didn't realize that Rebecca was watching on YouTube.
Oh,
First of all, she just had some questions and things to clear up. She'd be glad to have things shared on what's new Waldeboro when we do have events to share.
great, thank you.
For cleanup day, it's Mark Berger who's organizing that whole thing.
Yes,
And then just some clarification on what motorized trails would be. That would include ATVs and UTVs. Apparently people have been asking for those lately. I don't know.
yeah, I mean, that's a good point. The properties at the Conservation Commission
Are non-motorized.
are non-motorized overseas, and that's actually a very popular question that's been bubbling up, not just in Waldeboro, but in the other mid-coast boards I'm part of.
Hmm.
And I will be honest in that I do not have a good answer for that at this time. They're really limited
Mhm.
public access motorized ATV trails in our area.
Yeah, a lot of these like short trails aren't great for that because you can go so fast. You can go so fast or so
Mm.
far very quickly with those. So those trails are better when they're like long distances.
Mm,
And so most of our properties are more suited to multi-use, so like mechanized. So there's motorized and then mechanized and then non-mechanized.
Mm.
And then you get into the weird e-bike thing where then people are like, well, is that
And that-
mechanized or is that not mechanized?
And that gets into a weird area.
Kingdom
But anyway.
Trails, which is like the mecca of mountain bike trails in Vermont, just passed allowing class 2 e-bikes there, which I can't believe with all their, I'm excited, but I don't have an e-bike, but I never thought I'd see the day.
Wow.
Well, anyway, sorry about the sidetrack.
No,
Yeah,
no.
that's okay.
We should definitely stay on track. if
Yes,
we-
let's
I
go
think
back
it's
to
a
our.
good place to go from here. So we've identified, overarching goals of fundraising. So we've crossed that off the list, kind of quote unquote.
Hopefully.
And then I feel like education was a big part of that, at least for me personally, and part of the commission. I feel like we've just crossed both those because,
Great.
we're kind of intertwining the two.
Yeah,
And then the grant will identify the grant as a huge initiative of ours that we'll probably work on
yeah.
the whole summer. And then okay, role as conservation stewards, we'll shelve that for now. Are there any other themes or goals that we want to, that people feel like are really important that they want to do this year?
I think, I mean, it's not a major goal, but like I had mentioned when I sent the email that I want to create like a 1-pager of dog-friendly parks and trails, because that is a question that bubbles up from time to time. I don't think many people realize that like Pine Street Landing, the Madomic River Rest, dogs are not supposed to be there.
Mhm.
And so, but where can they go, right? Like if we're gonna say where they can't go, where can they go? And so I'd love to do like a little page and have that as one of my projects for this year. And then the other projects for the art walk. So very small, but just something.
When I do really well with deadlines for the flyer, when do we want to have the flyer all right, it's going off to the printer presses,
The brochure.
brochure.
By the
mean-
art walk date? Or do you think it won't get done?
I think it
Right,
can
okay.
easily, I can get those maps made. Cause I have all the trails. Cause would you want to put the Quarry Hill trails on there?
I mean, the brochure, I've made one brochure and it would be really nice to call that one done because the time has been spent on it. And that can be linked immediately to the Conservation Commission page and the old brochure can be taken off, which would be nice. And that could be printed anytime. like that's ready to go. I don't know if you all had a chance to look at it. And then if we want a bigger initiative with the maps and you creating the maps, then we can set another timeline maybe for that, but it will be a different I'll need to do a redesign. So I would just
Okay.
hate to like put all that work to the wayside after I just finished it. But like, let's
Okay.
use it.
No, let's
It could
use
go,
that.
it could go public tomorrow if Max wanted the link, but
Okay.
wanted to put it up. Oh wait, you're off tomorrow.
Ha.
Wait,
Please, I
what
didn't
do
have to say
we have, would you want the like Quarry Hill mountain biking trails to be included on there?
On the map,
Yeah.
I mean, yes, the multi-use trails,
The
Multi-use
multi-use,
non-motorized,
the
yeah.
Quarry Hill multi-use trails.
Yes.
Then there's the town forest, the Gould Trail. And we don't, the trail at like Dutch Neck isn't really a trail. No, that was not set.
Yeah,
So those 3 trails? Are those the 3 like?
yeah. I'll share that. I think you have more of a burning desire to create maps and brochures that are printable than I do. I'm like, I would rather them be digital and like let them scan the codes and go to the link tree and landing pages. And I could like, that could happen so quickly because of like accessing trail, like some of the trails are just already there already, the GPX files, is that what it's called? So I sort of volley it back to you and whatever maps you want to give me to design something. But I would think if we're going to do it, you'd want to do it for the like 5 properties that we maintain as a commission.
Okay, I'll start with the like very straightforward ones and then we can go from there.
I know last time we met, you really wanted to talk about, you know, our role as stewards.
Yeah.
You want to talk about that and, you know, see. what
Yeah, I
everybody
just don't, I
comments
don't
on?
think we ever landed on, I think I just brought up the idea that previously when we were an active commission that we each took committed roles as stewards, so we could all keep an eye on 1 or 2 properties and just help, like not any one individual burning out or taking on too much. And so I don't know who has what sparks interest for each person. I'll say that I have found the pocket parks to be kind of the higher maintenance of them all because of the trash. You could go down there every day and be cleaning up litter if you wanted to. It's a very hard thing. We had like a cigarette butt receptacle we put in and then somebody stole it.
Oh
And
my
like,
gosh.
it's just, those
There
are,
are times to charm. though.
it sounds,
Nail it to the ground.
I think I just want to forewarn you that.
They'll still
Find a way.
If-
they'll still find a way.
I would just, like in terms of prior, like that is pocket park commitments are maybe the higher commitment. And then Quarry Hill, I know you mentioned your interest because you're up there already
Yeah,
and
Pretty easy.
my
I bike
daughter,
and walk
yeah,
up there.
in
So
terms of collecting trash and stuff, that's something, actually, my kids, they're pretty passionate, like, there shouldn't be litter up here, so
yeah,
that's something that I plan on doing with them, just,
Yeah.
and my husband walks the trails pretty much every day, so.
Yeah.
Even though he's not on the commission, he's
The
still. kinda
MVLT
keeping up
trails or the founder trails or the,
The whole loop,
the new trails that were put in or
yes, to
so
the,
there's,
that goes up the big steep hill.
so those are the founder trails. Those
Yeah.
are Midcoast trails. He's walking them.
Walks them every day.
Sweet. Will you let me know? Will you maybe ask him, since you have my email, and let me know? Because that's a trail I need to like know what's happening on.
Okay.
I could take the Dutch Neck Marine Park.
great. That'd be great. And if you have any interest in scouting back out all the marks through the woods and making sense of, like, it'd be cool to put a trail back in there. And at one point, you know, there's that like point to the left of the rock. And we had talked, William and I had talked about like, it'd be so nice to put a bench out here or something, like a trail that leads out to a bench to overlook. And again, capacity issues, but just like things to think about I love that park. It's so beautiful there.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't know it as well. So I'm kind of like,
Yeah.
get to know it better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can take that one.
I assume you're on the town forest.
Well, I don't want to, I want William and Catherine, do you have,
I don't know. Whichever one.
I want to do the pocket? No.
You're
I
very
don't.
quiet down there.
I can also do
Except
Ill
for
Life
that,
Lookout
yeah.
if you want. If
Yeah.
no one else wants it. But if someone else wants it.
I mean, I can do my
also-
best in the pocket parks.
No, I'm teasing you. I know that's a busy one. I think I tried to go down there and pick up trash too. I think that's sort of like an all hands on deck if you think of it, stop in and pick up some trash.
And the only
Um,
thing would be nice, like, as we assign, like, we can at least assign the things now, then we'll all start to like understand our lands better.
Mhm.
And then we'll know like, oh, actually, this is where we need to focus, or like, ooh, actually, I need another person to help me on this, or like.
Yeah, yep. It's a great way to keep tabs. And I think I shared that like checklist we used to have, and I don't know if you want to make any revisions or it's not like a mandatory must. It's just kind of like a guide of like might be helpful things to look for.
Did you email
That is
that?
nice to have.
Yeah. I think I shared it.
Oh, yeah, okay,
Mhm.
yep, I remember now.
Let me look through the.
So one of the things on the agenda you guys had mentioned was that street light. My point,
So
which, yeah, okay, go ahead.
I was gonna say, the update I did have for that was that I have been exploring getting not a street light, but try and just get like a live stream cam there instead.
Mm,
Yeah,
That like what Reman has down for one of the nests
Hmm.
there. That's what I'm aiming to try and do. Just because the street light would mean putting in a new transformer up there, it would mean. a
well,
lot of
it's only for
things.
day use. Like if the land, you know what I mean, kind of like what we put on the brochure,
Mhm.
then what would be the point of a street light anyway?
Right,
And Morgan's point of
Yeah, the
brown
brown-tailed
tail moth
moth, yeah.
attraction.
yeah.
It's really a hindrance, I think.
Well, and it starts getting more expensive with the street. I think part of it was the people who are going up there doing things at night as well.
Mm.
But that's why I'm still hoping to get like the live stream one where it can be, it has, what is it? It has night vision.
Mhm.
So there's a few I'm looking at, and the company that did the ones here at the town office said that they could probably do it. I just need to work with them on getting a camera there.
Mm.
Which is good because there's an electrical pole and there's fiber going up there, so.
There is.
there
They've been
is.
working very hard, actually.
And they're
Are you-
doing great. I see them around.
They've
town
actually
everywhere.
gone all the way
Are
up.
you already hooked up?
They put boxes on the pole
Mhm.
and they hook something to the house. I don't know. I don't think it's live, obviously, but
No, but
they've gotten pretty far, which I'm shocked that they.
I just want
came
to
that
wrap up
far.
the steward agreements.
Yes.
And Catherine, I also want to acknowledge that I am totally willing to like, I feel like if I'm recalling correctly, Waldeboro Town Forest was something that you or your husband like walk or love or
I
enjoy.
Go there all the time and take the dog there.
Yeah.
But, you know, I'm not married to any of the properties.
not
I'll
either.
say, I'll disclose and say, I'm so incredibly busy this year that I feel like I wouldn't be able to give the pocket parks
Yeah.
what they need to thrive.
Yeah.
In future years, I'd be open to it, but I'd say the only strong preference I had would to not be
Yeah.
I'm happy to pitch in to do pocket parks maybe once a month or
Like
more.
support.
Yeah, I'll be support for the
Yeah.
pocket parks, but
Well,
yeah.
do you want to take Town Forest and maybe Will and you want to try tag teaming it? We'll see how that goes with the pocket parks.
Sure.
Because maybe it just is too much for one person. And maybe they do need to be
And by pocket parks, we mean Alewife and Rest Area,
the rest area and Pine Street Landing.
those three.
I mean, pocket park,
Yeah,
but yes,
yeah.
the little parks that
Okay,
those are the three.
Is the Elm Street, is that Alewife Lookout?
yes.
Should we talk
Um,
about whether that's gonna be singular or plural,
wife lookout.
alewife versus alewives, like odd alewives?
I don't know if I just accidentally switched from plural to singular. On
I think
accident.
it sounds better as the Alewife Lookout,
Me too.
but
But
I don't like the
rest-
singular, but
alewives lookout.
Real life lookout.
Should we let
I think I
those
had
select
alewives
decide?
outlook in the brochure.
Look, I can.
Those are the two that the old commission went back and forth, alewives outlook and alewife lookout. And I mean,
Who actually
care.
gets the final say on that? I imagine it's not us.
I'd have to
it's
send to the
board,
select
it's like,
board, yeah.
yeah.
They
So,
can argue about it.
pretty much.
They-
we
up to them.
actually, when we named the park by Hannaford, we actually posted that on a conservation commission, like, we all came up with like
Get a poll.
3 or 4 names that we all liked, and then we were like, hey, town, what do you like? And then we took the top 2 names or 1 name to the select board.
Mm.
And so I don't know if like you want to do that, or if we just want to take the 1 name, or how.
I mean, we could
how-
also just put it to the select board, say they came down to these 2 names, permission to just put it onto a Facebook poll and let the town pick the one,
Mhm.
kind of like, so not Sylvania,
You almost
Oh,
said
yes,
it.
the new,
the
Economic
Like
River
Community Park. That's exactly what I was about to say. There's just a
Um,
silent S in the beginning.
It's a mouthful when you add commission onto the end of that.
For the art walk, I think it's gonna be from 4 to 7.
Okay.
Is the.
Good.
I hope that's what they decided to do.
and then just, we have a few minutes wrapping up if we want to keep with our hour. Is there any?
Do we want
Um,
to rapid fire through the bullet points?
You look at your bullet points.
It's just like things that I put that people, people said that they were going to do or start working on. Maybe we could check things off
Mhm.
the list.
Trail cameras in the high traffic dumping areas, is that,
Yeah, that was kind of what I was getting
okay,
at.
okay.
We talked about the light, the flyer. I've shared your content calendar, Catherine.
Oh, I totally forgot about that. I didn't forget about it in general, but I forgot that I wanted to talk about that today. Do you want me to go through it really quick? I have up until October and they're all tentative. They're just like
Yeah.
themes for each month. So April, you've already been sharing the town cleanup, information, but I thought that'd be nice to keep on.
Yep.
Amphibian awareness, because everybody loves the big night, situation and last year or the year before, Brunswick had the town police do a little tidbit on like, oh, if you guys are out at night, like lower your speed, keep an eye out for people with reflective jackets. I just thought that was like so nice for the town police to do.
Yeah.
Anyway, no, I don't want to ask the Waldeboro police to do something like that.
I don't think it hurts. I think cross collaborations and partnerships with the town, like our police or any of the town groups, I think it's great. So,
Yeah.
and they're very kind. So definitely.
Yeah, maybe I'll
reach
stop
out and
by and see if
ask.
they've probably heard about it. I
Never
wonder
hurts
if
to
they'd be
ask.
interested in doing a little awareness. And then May, maybe an alewife,
Alewife or alewife?
Sorry. I'm sorry that I put that in your head.
like,
I
which one is
should've-
it? Yeah, a little shout out, maybe that I didn't know about the counter that we have. So maybe we could highlight that. It's also peak bird migration. We could do some community science, awareness about that.
Mhm.
June is National Pollinator Month, so there's that. And then where in Waldeboro town owned properties can you observe pollinators in action? And then, another thing was I thought we could highlight a town property each month.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah.
So I did the Pocket Park shout out for June, and then maybe we can also add our events into this too.
Mhm.
July, keep your more like light awareness. So keep your lights off because that's when brown tail come out and mate is in July. And then we can talk about the other negative impacts to like fireflies and other insects that are trying to, find their way at night and get off there. Okay, moth night event. I put that, totally forgot to say anything about it, but we can talk about it next time maybe, or maybe over email.
Yeah.
But I thought Quarry Hill might be a fun thing to do. And also maybe with kids, like maybe open it up to the high school or when the sun goes down, setting up a big white sheet and then
Mhm.
shining a black light on it and then seeing what insects and moths gravitate
Yeah.
to the cloth and then,
Yeah, that-
everybody.
I
really
love
cool.
that.
Isn't that
That's really
fun?
Yeah.
cool.
That was
When
really cool.
when was that planned? June or
I had that in July.
July?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think July and August would probably be the best time to go mothing. I think we also might do it at the gardens, and I wonder if we could collaborate in a way with them, like maybe Waldeboro. We could, maybe I could figure out a way that, people from the town could get into mothing night for free if we
Mhm.
do make it an event.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'll get back to you guys on that. And then for August, and then I put Quarry Hill on there for the highlight. And then we can talk about blueberries and stuff like that. And then August was goldenrod awareness, because everybody thinks that gives you allergies, but it's really ragweed. And then places where you can, like Quarry Hills has amazing goldenrod. And anyway, town forest shout out. And then I put any other ideas regarding fundraising opportunities we can promote. And then September, maybe a year in review for the Conservation Commission, just to say these are all the fun things that we did. Marine conservation shout out, because I had nothing about, you know, the watershed in this whole thing, so we can plug that in
Mhm.
wherever, September, or if there's a more appropriate time to highlight different parts of year that are important to marine animals that I have no idea about.
Yeah.
Um,
Probably May is the best, but I'm at capacity.
I think, I think cross collaboration with the Shellfish Committee
Oh.
would be really beneficial.
that would be awesome.
Too. I love this. I love it. That's so great.
It's kind of fun to put together.
I think my recommendation would be like shifting the properties, like now that we have our date set, like if you're gonna do the ephemeral walk in May, maybe the highlight is Waldeboro Town Forest in May. So you like
Yes.
spotlight it and then you're like, hey, and then like July, you already had Quarry Hill there and that's July Blueberry event, you know, like try to strategically shift it that way. And then the other thing is like, I love that you give yourself space too, because it's like you can't predict everything. There's going to be stuff you've got to just cross promote that comes up, and just cross promotion and support of partners like Midcoast Trails, Midcoast Conservancy. We've done some work with Coastal Rivers too, you know, like definitely sharing partnership awareness or
It is 7. I don't have anywhere to go, but when will our next meeting be?
well, they're supposed to be quarterly.
So what's that make?
That would be,
That would be August,
Okay,
well, July.
July, May. July, August. You're counting April.
so quarterly is every 3 months, right?
Oh, why did I think?
So wait, June, wait, no, May, June, July, so like July 10th-ish.
That'd be a good time to get together somewhere around there, because then
It'd be right after.
we could be firming up the Blueberry event. And we'll see each other at the ephemeral walk, you know, like, I think now that the season gets going, we'll see each other more and, you know, we've got emails, of course, to be in contact with each other.
So July 9th would be the next meeting.
Yeah, I'm free the 9th or the 16th, whichever works.
I'm good for either one.
I'm also good for either one.
July 9th, everyone will be recovered from 4th of July after that.
Yeah,
Hopefully.
it's possible. I sometimes go camping for a week.
Right,
around
that's
that
why I
time.
was like, yeah,
But I don't have a plan yet, so I'll
should we move it to the 16th just to be
just
safe?
keep you posted. Let's keep it for the 9th just
Okay.
because of the timing of the blueberries.
Okay.
Because even if if I'm not here and you have to meet without me, I would rather that at that point.
Okay,
Well, and I'll do what I did last time where I'll just do the like 1 month reminder or
Yeah.
something, just saying, hey, just making sure we're doing all this so that we can meet. Is anyone expecting a big snowfall or anything?
I was refraining.
I'm gonna
from
keep, I'm
saying
gonna
it.
keep going on about that.
and then I know it's 7:03, but Max, you know about the town float thing that we're doing, citizen initiative?
Town,
So as a citizens initiative, we're just a group of citizens, have no real affiliation. We just wanted to like connect people to the river. And it's a lot of multi-part things. Part of it is working with the high school and doing that stuff. But another big part of it is a public float that's going to happen on July 19th. And yeah, it'll be a guided kayak tour from Dutch Neck to Pine Street. Yeah, on July 19th. The registration might be live or is going live soon. And the rec department is posting it for us because we were just a citizens group, so we needed like an entity, and the rec department is going to be our entity.
Yeah, I heard about that in like Miko's.
Yeah, so like
Yeah.
Michael Miko's kind of like helping with that too.
Hmm.
So nice, yeah,
alrighty,
putting that on your radar.
It's fun.
Do we feel comfortable to adjourn?
alrighty. Motion to adjourn.
Did we?
Should we
did
have to make
Rebecca
a
say anything
motion?
else? Is she-
No, it's more, no, she's, Rebecca's just saying that this all sounds awesome and thank you all for your hard work.
Thanks for listening.
thanks
for
Great.
listening.
Yeah,